We got to make this turnaround coming off Monday night and get going. Our week starts quickly and the game comes even quicker. So everybody's got to jump to it and make sure that we can get on track and get a good plan started and all that. You could say that it helps that we just played these guys a couple weeks ago, but we do everything exactly like it's a brand new game and start all over again. So in our minds, we just have to kind of hustle along, catch up, and get rolling. Niners played really good last week against Denver. Really played an explosive game early in particular, and controlled the score the whole time. Played really good football. If you look at their numbers too, their numbers are really good across the board. The offense is highly ranked. The defense is highly ranked, and they're good in situations and all kinds of good stuff. And we can see all that. We're going to respect the heck out of that. And it's a big time opportunity for us. It's a championship matchup for us. So we're looking forward to it.
What's the latest with Michael Kendricks?
Michael's going on IR. He needs to get work done on his knee. He got caught in a situation, just got hit on the outside of his knee, and it got him. And in unbelievable fashion, he finished the game. And it was early enough where he fought through it the whole time. And it's just been such a difficult season for Mike. My heart goes out to him. He wants to be part of this thing so badly, but he doesn't get through. He doesn't get through this time around. We'll look forward to getting him back next time and keep him with us.
There's a report out it's broken tibia. Is that?
There's a little nick in there or something. There's a couple things that they're going to work on. It's not a terrible knee injury, but it's going to take a little bit. It's at least 6 to 8 weeks kind of a situation. So just have to wait it out.
Surgery?
Yes.
What is KJ Wright's situation then?
KJ went through the walkthrough today. I watched him run yesterday, and he looks good. He's getting close. This will be an important week to just kind of work him back in, and then hopefully a couple weeks from now we'll get a chance to get him back.
So he wouldn't be able to play this week?
Not unless something changes. Can't tell you that right now.
How's Doug Baldwin?
He went through the walkthrough today, too. We'll see how he does this afternoon. We're just going one day at a time with Doug and never expecting anything other than he may pull off another one of his miracles and get back and play. So his mind is set on doing that. We'll see how he makes it through the week. I can't tell you right now.
Bradley McDougald had another big game, just some big plays and all that. What has he brought you guys this year?
Well, it's consistency, and he has been very productive. He has been a playmaker from the first game out. He's been able to put himself in situations and make plays that that other guys don't make. And he's a really good guy in coverage, and he continues to come through the Carolina play that he made and the fourth down play in the end zone, along with the numbers of others in the last few weeks. He continues to make things happen, and he's having a fantastic season.
His versatility you've talked about before, but what does that allow you guys to do with other players in the secondary?
Well, it does give us some choices. He can play free safety and strong safety, and he plays in the dime package as well because it comes easy to him. All the coverage situations that we can put him in, he's very comfortable with it. He's got corner play in his background, and you can see it. He's got really good coverage instincts, and so he allows us to move other guys around too because of that.
With the short week, does it help that you just saw San Francisco?
It could, but it's relative, so it doesn't make a difference, really. We're not looking at it like that. We're just going, like I said, we're going right back after it all over again. Start this, the process. We're not trying to bank on what happened before. We're just going to go start this thing off. It's a new game, and see if we can put together a great plan and carry out a great week of work and get ready to play really big-time ball again.
When you look at last week's game, not having Doug out there, how much could you tell him his absence affected what you guys were trying to do offensively?
Well, I think a guy of his stature is going to affect you some. His experience and the chemistry with Russ and our history with him. He's a fantastic player, and so other guys have to do what they do well. They're not going to be able to do Doug, and that's. I don't know that it had anything to do with the game in particular, but you could certainly turn to that, as you have, and see if he's out there, he might have made a difference in the throwing game.
When it comes to Trey Flowers, what have you seen from him more on the mental side as far as a rookie being able to bounce back from negative plays? I mean, it seems like that'll happen to him like it does any player, but he always seems to be able to kind of react to that.
Yeah, he truly has. He's been really strong-minded about it. He started working his mentality way back in April when we got going, and getting ready to be able to see it's always about the next play. And his focus has been really good. You can see when technique doesn't change, from being affected by what has happened before, and he's been very, very consistent. He's just a good, tough-minded guy. And again, I go back to he's played a lot of football in college. 3.5 years as a starter, that adds up. And so he just has a real good mentality about him. And he's tough, plays tough, and he's not going to let anything get to him. So he's been really good that way.
At this point, how comfortable are you in just Austin Calitro's ability to just step in when you need him? He's done this, throughout the season.
Yeah, he really has done it, and he's done it well for us. And he played really good against these guys last time out. He's been able to be really consistent with his run fits. We really don't have any problem with him playing at all. We were excited to play Michael last week to give him a chance to get out there, but Calitro and here, could easily have swapped, and so we feel like we have a guy that we've developed as a starter stepping up, and we feel we're fortunate in that.
Has Shaquem just not progressed the way you thought he would after maybe starting him, to start the year?
No. No, I don't think that. I think that maybe it was the other way around. We threw him in there so early. I mean, we might have done that too early for anybody coming off of the big transition that he was making, from the position play. And remember, he was a DB just a couple of years before and all of that. So he's doing good, and he's ready to jump when we need him. And he's way better schooled now than he was earlier, but he still hasn't had a lot of play time. So it's going to be a big offseason for him.
What did you guys see in Jordan Simmons, or what was sort of the first thing you guys saw in him that got you interested in him?
Yeah, the guys had seen him, coming out of SC. Again, he didn't have much play time, so it was hard to evaluate him highly because he had been subject to a bunch of injury stuff. But when we caught him playing for the Raiders, excuse me, during the preseason, and he just looked like he was capable. We knew that he was 338 pounds, and he moved well. He moved maybe better than we thought a guy that big should move. He had good flexibility to him. We just saw a lot of real positive things, and we didn't realize until we got him here that he really fit in, and he fit in physically. He could do the things that we wanted to do. He could play big like we want to play. And you can also see the potential for him, too. He's got potential to be a really good pass protector because he can move his feet and he can get it out of his stance. So it's just been, really, we had some hopes when we picked him up, but then as we saw him, he was able to elevate our expectations, and sure enough, he's playing now, which is a remarkable journey for him. He has not had a lot of background in ball, but you can't tell. He's doing a really nice job. He's still young. He's a young guy playing, and he's still real nervous and stuff, and just like a young guy would be. And but in time, he's going to really settle in and be a really competitive guy for us.
How does it work on cut down day when you picked him up in terms of that being different? You've got all the teams dropping a whole lot of talented people. How do you guys work the communication about what you need and who's available?
Well, it's a big answer here because the scouts are working extensively at the rosters that are of the guys that are playing, and we have guys responsible for every team, and they are responsible for every player on the roster, all the way up to the 90 numbers, and we're constantly evaluating and plotting in preparation for that final cut down or whatever else could happen, the transitions that do take place. And sometimes you get surprised and think, hey, somebody that's out there that you didn't think would be, and so we would immediately that hits the wire for us internally, and everybody's talking about it, and we'll sit down and guys will jump onto the film, and John will call me and say, hey, look, I got a guy you want to take a look at. He might be able to do this and that, and if we can keep the energy going for the guy, then we do. And as we get closer to the fourth game, we've already got a whole big draft list almost, of guys that we think are going to come available. Are the experts, the scouts on their teams, have to kind of sense what the cuts are going to look like and who would be available. So there's a whole, it's a myriad of things that take place to get to the point where we would finally say, hey, this guy is now available. We might jump on him, and we also have to take a look at our roster. There's a lot of stuff going on for that. It's a very intricate time of the scouts and personnel work, and John's great at it, and he knows how to anticipate and has good sense for what's going to happen on other teams, and so there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. It's a really big science for us, and I know it's interesting you brought it up because rarely do people talk about that.
probably had 3 or 4 offensive line choices perhaps on that cut down day. I'm wondering what about Simmons stood out at least. in
Well,
that
I kind of told you that he was really a well-balanced athlete, and he was really big. You know, he's a big, strong guy that moved well. And we had good information on him from coming from SC and all that, and felt like we had enough knowledge to get it, give him a shot. Really, at that point, he's just kind of getting a shot, and we hope he can come through, and he has.
Whether trade or free agency, right around that time of year, you guys have added quite a few guys. I'm thinking like Nico, Justin Coleman, who have contributed. Is that kind of that process showing up?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look to, we've picked up guys. We've made some transactions to get guys that we think are kind of maybe on the bubble for another team, and that we think would fit us. And John does a really good job. We've picked up some really important players over the years that have come in and helped us.
Back to Jordan for a second. When you have a guy who doesn't play a lot in college or even early in his NFL career, how difficult is it to evaluate his potential versus, say, a guy like David Moore who plays at a lower level against maybe lesser competition?
It's a real different science for those two situations you're talking about. One guy you're looking at level of competition, and the other guy, you have a limited amount of information on. So there's, that's where it comes down to the savvy of the scouts in the areas and what they're seeing, and can they make the evaluation that could allow a guy to kind of where we can translate it. And there's a lot going on. It's a really, again, back to Art's question too, it's just a good area of work that our guys do, and we're very fortunate of the experience of the guys we have. John's ability to communicate with his scouts, know what they're seeing, know what they're hearing, know what they know about the players and all of that stuff. So it's not cut and dry to say, well, and this guy it's this way, this guy it's another way. It's just kind of the work that those guys do and the intricacies of it. There's a lot going on.
Have you been surprised by what you guys have been able to do with him in there? The 2 games he's had to start, you put up over 200 yards rushing in each of those outings, and how he's played when he's been in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think he played against the Rams and the Vikings, right? I mean, it's 2 terrific fronts, with really good players and highlighted players, and he's held his own. I don't know about expectations, but we're playing him because we think he's going to do a good job, and he's been able to handle it. And he hasn't been perfect, but he's certainly shown that he can hang in there. And he's blocking Sue and Donald, a couple weeks ago, and here he's going against our guy last year, and it's really a positive expression he's made for our team and for his future with us.
What's DJ Fluker's status at this point?
Still coming back, not quite ready today. I'll give him a chance to do something special by the end of the week, see how that goes.
This team, this might be true of any team that's on a roll with, they seem to be having more fun than I feel like previous teams have.
Having more
fun. Just
that's
the,
good.
The
That's
touchdown,
good.
Celebrations. There doesn't seem to be any tension. I guess just from a locker room tenor standpoint, does something stand out about this team versus that?
Yeah, it's been an obviously well-connected group from the start. Really, when we came back to camp, and I've kind of tried to explain it to you guys, but they've all sensed the opportunity to do something here and be a part of it. I think a lot of the guys that are here that weren't here in the past had seen the kind of team that we've had, and they had kind of a good positive outlook. Being part of this might be something special, might be fun, and so the whole mentality has been kind of on a very upbeat and looking to the future, a lot of hope, and it's kind of just fed off itself, and the newness is good, the freshness was good, and all, and I mean, we always have a good time here, but I don't ever want to coach this game if we're not having fun. If we're not having fun, I'm screwing it up, because we're here to play. In a game, you play football, you don't work football, you play football, and there's something to that, and it's always been something that I want to make sure that the atmosphere is available for that, and these guys are taking full advantage of it, and it's good leadership, good communication too between the groups, and they have really mixed a lot from offense to defense, defense to offense. It's been a very, very fun group to watch come together.
In that analogy, is the positive outlook the beginning of that brings hope, execution, and the visioning? Does that positive outlook?
Yeah, I don't think that there's anything that you could find that's more crucial than that. we talk about grit a lot around here, and there's elements of grit. It starts with passion and perseverance, and then resilience. And resilience comes from hope, that you think that something is going to happen for the positive, and you can hold on to that. That helps you hang through. That allows you to persevere. And the more passionate you are, the longer and the deeper the battle is within you. We're kind of living in a very forward-thinking, optimistic world around here, and that's just the only way we look at it. We know that something good is going to happen if we just keep battling, and that mentality has been in this program since the start. These guys they're on it. They get it, It was 3-0 the other night, and there wasn't one guy that was concerned about how the game was going to come out. And it was 3-0 at the first quarter, and then in the second quarter, and then the third quarter, and there was no margin for error at all there. I felt no tenseness. I felt no reservation in the way that they were approaching it. Everybody was going for it, and because I believe that they felt like we're going to be able to take control of this thing, and it's going to turn out okay. Russell's a gleaming example of that mentality. He's always been so upbeat and so positive, and he carries the message so well. Bobby is the same, and that's that connection with what we think here as a coaching staff too. It's pretty strong, and there's nothing more powerful than that, particularly to overcome difficult times. And we weren't looking real good a while back, and it took us a while to find some kind of continuity and something to count on. And since it's helped us, and we're growing, and we got a lot of work to do here, but we're in the right mentality to go ahead and make something happen here. So we're looking forward to it.
4 weeks ago, at 4-5, you referenced the 2015 season and said you kind of felt like this team could go on a roll. In the last month, what have you seen kind of come to light that you were hoping would be?
We're finding a consistency in our performance and through the week that gets us ready for the performance on the weekend. We're practicing really well. The guys are tuned in and into it in the meetings and the walkthroughs, and that's all what adds up to giving you a chance to be on it on game day. And there's been a consistency about us that's been different than earlier in the year. You just have to earn that. You got to work for it and earn it by the time you put into it and the focus that you put into it, and it's coming through. And so it gives us all that does is give us a chance. We haven't done anything yet. I mean, we can get another win here. We've taken the first step for what the season could be all about. So. We'll see what happens.
What happened to Maurice Alexander? What happened to him?
He had a concussion. Yeah, he got hit on the play he was in on, the special teams play, and I think his head hit the ground.
Frank Clark said after the game that he said that some of the veterans no longer here still had that cloud of the Super Bowl loss, and that you're all moving on from that. Were you surprised that Frank said that there was guys were still lingering with it?
No, he gets to say whatever he wants to say. I trust Frank. I didn't read it, but I don't. If Frank feels that way, then there's probably something to it in Frank's mind. And I don't think there aren't very many guys around here that wouldn't understand that, and or have any reference to that. So, I guess I don't know. It's pretty good thought.
Where do you kind of view the entire health of your offensive line at this point, with the fact that Simmons has shown he can play for you now, George has played a ton as an extra tight end, the kind of growth that group as a whole has had over the last 12 months or so?
Joey's played well. Posick has played well when they had their chances. So we're really excited about the group because there's enough versatility here and flexibility. Ethan gives us tremendous flexibility. He can play all 5 spots. And Joey went in at guard. He can play at center. Jordan could move out as well. George can play both sides. He's playing tight end. All of that just adds to the versatility of the group. They're all connected too. We wouldn't feel bad about any of those guys being in the game. They all can play and carry their own. And they're smart. And they know what's going on. And it's a credit to the job that Mike's done with these guys. But it's a very positive outlook, I think, for this group for the coming years too.
Rashad Penny was listed as questionable going into the game. Did something?
Yeah, after the game, his knee was sore. He has a sore knee, so we're going to rest him today and see how he goes. And he's had it all looked at, and there's not any issues with it. But he had a little bit of swelling, and so we're going to take care of him.
Has this been ongoing, or is it new from last week, and then he felt sore?
With Rashad?
Yeah.
No, yes, first time. Yeah, he felt it. He said he felt it at the restaurant after the game.
Do you encourage how he reverses field like that, or is he kind of playing with fire?
Heck yeah. No, he's pretty good at it. You know, until he gets caught for about a 20-yard loss, and we'll talk about that. But as long as he's got good sense, you know, that's not the first time that he's run back across the field, you know. He's a great kick returner in college, and he's done all that kind of stuff. There's a moment in there, you know, where you could doubt, like, it ain't looking so good. But, you know, when you got Tyler Lockett peeling back on the block, you got a chance, you know, so. He had Russell, too. Russ decided not to block on that play, but he was available, though, so it's good.
You mentioned McDougald earlier. I'm just wondering, what's your evaluation been of the safety group as a whole, and how has he kind of, helped keep that group together?
He has been responsible for keeping that group together. He was the guy that had the experience that could speak at all, you know, and only Shaq had played a season, so he was really instrumental in all of that. Tedrick has played really solid football for us. He's been a really good hitter, and you know, he's had his plays during the year. What hasn't happened is the big plays turning the ball over that he will do in time. He's gonna steal football before probably this season's over. He's really good back there. So the group has played pretty well. I'm really happy about Delano getting in there and playing. He's a really good athlete. We thought he was the best tackler in the draft when he came out. He's been a guy that we've been able to move around now, and we're comfortable with him playing in situations, and if he had to play regular, he would do fine. So it's a good group, and there's some competition in the playtime there, which is always good too. So I think they play pretty solid football for the limited amount of background that they've had.
For the young dudes in general, how important is leadership within the position group? Guys like Bradley for the DBs or Dwayne on the O-line.
No, it's really important because these guys live together. You know, when they're here, they're together all day long and all week long. And I mean, look at them on the bench during the game. These guys are just, you know, they're connected. You know, and so there's always leadership. Sometimes it's better than others. You know, and we have particularly good direction from our guys, and guys that are humble, and they care about the people around them, and they're looking after the young guys. They're watching them, you know, not just in their football, but what's going on around their worlds. These guys do a great job of handling their business on and off the field, and I think that has to do with the leadership. And so it's been a strong aspect of us. I know everybody says, "Oh, you're going to lose all this leadership. How are you going to be?" I didn't feel like that. I feel like we had plenty of guys that have already been factors as leaders, you know, throughout the squad. And there's been a few surprises, you know. I think Bradley taking over as much as he did, as quickly as he did, was a great surprise. And Jay Reed was a guy that we knew would be, you know, a guy that could be a leader, and he stepped up. And I think Frank has been a surprise in how confident he's been and how he's been able to share his experience with guys and help them out. So if we can just get any leadership in the linebacker group, it would be a little bit. Oh, sorry, Bobby. That's right.
Since he's here, you've led every step of his development. Is this the best that kid's played?
Gosh, Bobby's played great for years, and you know, he's had, when you're out there enough, you know, the opportunities come to you, and when you're on your game, then you can take advantage of it, and that's what you see Bobby doing, and you know, more than ever, we're calling on him to do more than he's done in the past. You know, we like the way he rushes the passer and blitzes and all that kind of stuff, and he gets every once in a while we give him a call that he gets to do that, and but anyway, no, it's great to see. I love to see that the big opportunities have come up, and he's just captured them. You know, because that's the kind of ball player he is, and he'll continue to do that.
Anything else? Thank you.